out at the X takeover in San Luis Obispo, and I'm meeting some sexy people here. And who's sexier than Simon from the
Elon,
X light shows? Well, I don't know if you know
He's
this.
the real.
Oh, what happened?
The trouble is, he's been
They
drinking
needed
quite
to
a
do
lot.
more security.
It is very hot
He's
here.
been injured. That's perfect timing.
It is perfect.
That is great. So you know, the only thing that might be sexier than Simon is sexy buttons.
Yes,
Have you used them?
I have. I've been pressing these ones all day.
So, what? One neat application that I heard last year, Chris from Dirty Tesla said he's got a button just behind his screen for
Yeah, I
the
do
glove
that.
box.
Yep.
You do that too?
Dude, what do you think I use most on my car? It's
Uh,
opening the glove box in order to put a light show on.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, sexy buttons, they make my life and everybody's life, because that makes my life easier if they go to my light shows.
You know, what's funny is I'm trying to record about sexy buttons. I just saw Simon and grabbed him. He didn't realize he was part of the show, part of the promo.
God no.
But it's not actually a promo because I'm not actually sponsored. But I'll see
I'll sponsor you.
before.
I've got a buck. Do you want it?
No, because then I have to
found
put
it.
a thing up that says sponsored by.
Ah.
So, but we'll talk about that dollar later. Don't worry, baby. I'll earn
you're
it.
going to hold me to it.
No, so the thing is, you can do all kinds of neat stuff. Like I've seen people in crowded cities who'll fold in mirrors.
Yeah.
One guy was saying that he likes to chill, turn off the rear air conditioning because the kids complain about it.
Oh, of course. That's great.
And for my car, what I need is the seat warmer buttons in the back.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I'll
perfect.
tell you what, that air conditioning would be good because my kids are continuously on the screen watching something and saying, Daddy, Daddy, can you turn the AC down or turn the AC up? But then they can't do it because then they have to leave their show and they won't.
You think I'm going to start Netflix over?
Ah, Daddy, the
Who
world's too
raised
short.
me? Who raised me? So the only thing sexier than a sexy button would, of course, be a sexy knob. Oh, and
Yep.
look at that. This gentleman's wearing a microphone already. What are the odds of
What a
that?
coincidence. Well, welcome.
So the sexy buttons, you had 4 commands, 6 commands, depending what you wanted. That's a couple things. That's more than Tesla thinks you need. Buy 4 or 6. But what do we got here? What's this doing?
Well, what you said right now, we were thinking about the same thing, but you're gonna be surprised that people are asking for more and more actions, and there's even people who are adding 8 buttons inside the car. So that's why we came up with this sexy knob. This is our newest gadget. We introduced it 6 months ago, and what you can do is you can fully customize each screen and control different actions with the buttons from the side. So let's say right now I can change my regenerative braking, and if I go back with the button here, I can open my glove box. So you can configure all of that throughout the app, and you can customize it over 50 different actions to this unit.
Now, and if you want to know which actions, you can go to the website.
Sure.
It's all on there. Link on the screen right now and in the description. But what's crazy is you've seen people say the problem with Teslas is they don't have. I want knobs. I want buttons. And the problem, what is it? What does a button cost? $1? It doesn't. Because you got to do the wiring, you got to do the engineering, you got to do the validation. Someone's got to run it. Now the production line is slower. And the problem. So let's say it's $50. I'll pay $50 for which button? Because you want one button and I want a different button.
Yep.
So you could do the Mercedes approach and have 5,000 buttons.
For sure.
I don't know what any
Why
of
do
them
you
do.
need this for, though?
So that one guy stops complaining. So the thing is, with the sexy buttons, the 4-pack is very popular.
Sure.
The 4 things I want are different than the 4 things you want. Maybe you want the mirrors to fold in if it's a tight spot or a tight garage. Wouldn't that be great? Just having the button so you can pull into your own garage.
Exactly.
But who needs that? I don't need that. So with this, you can have how many things programmed in it at once? 20?
25 at once.
25. So you want your 25 buttons. Not only do you get them, you got to pick which ones they are.
Correct. And the best part is that just as Tesla, we release software updates every single month, and all of our actions are based on the community. So we do voting every single month and ask people, what do you want to see in one of our next updates? So people vote. So let's say right now, we're going to have an update in August, and a lot of people voted that they want to see a presenting trunk smart action for their knob and the buttons for their older vehicles, because right now you can only do it for the Model S and X, including the Model 3 Highland, but we made it so it works on all the other models as well. So that's going to be one thing that we're going to be introducing next month. So that's the best thing about our products, I would say, that you can get new things just as Tesla does it every single month.
And we will show, but I mean, here's a picture of it. Here's where it goes. You partly open your tray and it just goes right there. It just sits. And you notice the color is the same, unless you have piano black, in which case, what are you doing? But it fits in there, it plugs right into the USB, so it's got power, and away you go.
Super simple.
Yes, and you can change regen settings, you can add individual controls so everyone's got their own seat warmers without looking at the screens.
And the best thing is that this is not only useful for the driver, but for the passenger at the same time. Because a lot of people who are not familiar with how Tesla works, it's hard for them to realize where they need to go through the screen. So that's why you can set up a whole screen for your passenger to control their music, the seat heating, you name it.
So we've got these going here. Now, if I wanted to, could I put 4 different farts on here?
4 different farts, that's gonna be a lot of farts, I would say.
Well, let's start
with one.
Let's start with one. But in the future, we'll just keep voting until you have to configure 25 fart commands.
Well, that's gonna be like a music, you know?
What are we doing here if not 25 custom farts?
We need those farts.
We need them.
Vote, people, vote.
Now, I forgot, I mentioned this earlier when you weren't on camera. Do I have a coupon code for my people?
We're definitely gonna have one.
We'll have one. It'll be on the screen right now if I have one. And you can use it to get some sort of discount.
Why not?
But you know what? We've got buttons, we've got knobs. That's it. We're done. There's nothing else ever again. It's perfection. Hey, quick question.
Well, what's that?
What is this? What's this little guy? Is this a hat? I don't think it's a hat.
Well, we have the buttons, we have the knob, but as you know, the new Model 3 Highland and the future Model Y are not going to have any stocks anymore. So there's a lot of people still transitioning from different vehicles coming to Tesla, and they're used on how to drive with their stocks, and they say, I'm not ready to commit to a car that doesn't have this. I feel much more comfortable to have them, and that's why we created the Sexy Stock. So this is our first official prototype. We're going to be entering mass production in about 3 months, and we're aiming to start delivering them in December this year.
So I've seen other companies that have something like this already, but they've got a big chunky boy that connects around, and
Exactly. I'm going to tell you all the benefits that we have with these
Okay.
stocks. So one thing is this is going to be keeping the minimal look of your car without making it look weird, just like the other companies do it. Also, you're going to be able to choose how many stocks you want. So maybe you only want to use it for the turn signals, so you're not going to have to buy a second one.
Oh.
And vice versa, obviously. And the third best thing is that we're gonna make these stocks fully customizable just to keep the spirit of our buttons. Let's say you can configure this button so you can use it for your wipers or maybe to open your glove box. And also one cool thing is when you're driving, yes, you need to use them for turn signals, but when you park, you don't need turn signals anymore. So what can you do? When I park, pushing the stock up, maybe you can open my frunk or my trunk. You name it, you're gonna be able to fully customize them through the app.
That is bonkers.
Yep.
That is bonkers. And of course, this button will activate 25 farts.
25 farts or more.
You're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. And the reality is, some people, love the stockless design. And if you do, that's great, you're done.
Absolutely.
But if you want an option, you will have an option. Because especially I've seen people in roundabout intensive cities that are less than excited about it.
Listen, we love Tesla and we love what Tesla does. We're not saying that everything they do is bad. We support them fully. However, again, there's people who just do not want to change their driving experience. They want to keep it as they've been doing it for ages, and we just give options, just like you said.
Yeah, and earlier I mentioned that Chris from Dirty Tesla uses the sexy button to open his glove box,
sure.
And there he is over there in the blue shirt, hiding in the back.
Hey.
He doesn't know it, but he's the star now. Where's Chris? I mentioned you in an anecdote a few minutes ago, and you appeared.
Hello, so these will control that Cybertruck.
I said his name 3 times. It happens.
He's a big shot right now.
Oh, well, just brief. We're just.
Oh, you're taking a video right
What
now.
do you use your buttons for?
Okay, I use them for a lot of things. All right, I use my buttons for a lot of things. Number one is And most important to me is the glove box. I know it seems simple and silly, but it's just so much more convenient to just reach behind the screen. I keep my button back there. Number 2, I have this feature where I can press on my sexy knob, and oh man, well, you know, and it'll pop open the back door, so my young daughter can then open the door herself. And when we drop her off at school and the teacher comes out to get her, we can pop this door open and then my daughter can get out and go to the teacher. The other one is the cabin light. So I press a button, all the lights in my whole car turn on. That is so satisfying when you're like sitting there trying to work on something and it's too dark. There's several more, but those are my main ones for sure.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
We were talking about the folding mirrors is fun.
Folding
and,
mirrors, when you go to the car wash. And then the other one I'll use is autopilot. It's just so much more fun. You're parked, you're ready to go, you press the button and the car starts driving itself, rather than like the stock is, I don't know, it's not as cool.
Yeah. Well, some manufacturers have that button as mandatory. It's called start.
Yeah. You can add that if you want, I guess.
I think that's a great solution for people who are stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, buddy. All right.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, we managed to get through that. In the comments, I guess my big question is, what are you guys going to assign to your buttons, to your knob? I mean, I'm not as worried about your blinker. I think I know what you'd assign the main function to that for. But what are you going to use? What would you assign it to do? That's what I want to know. And I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for coming out to all these events, for supporting the community, and for making a product that a lot of people appreciate, and some people feel they just can't live without.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. So what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it all into the comments below, and stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots in the comments.